President Biden there, the 46th President of the United States, being greeted by rapturous applause and a standing ovation as he delivers his foreign policy speech. In the final days, of course, of his presidency, President Trump will take over on next Monday, in fact, and we was talking about his foreign policy achievements. Let me bring in Fawaz Gerges, a professor of international relations at the London School of Economics and Political Science, as well as the author What Really Went Wrong, the West and the Failure of Democracy in the Middle East. Also joining us is the editor-in-chief of Foreign Policy magazine, Ravi Agrawal. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us. It was about a 40-minute speech. He covered a lot of ground, everything from the Indo-Pacific to Ukraine, the Red Sea, Iran, Syria, China. At the end, he mentioned Gaza. And let me start on that, Fawaz, with you, because he said we're on the brink of a proposal that's coming to fruition, working urgently to close this deal. And this is something that we have been hearing as well on the ceasefire and hostage deal. What did you make, not just of what we heard and what his policy has been, foreign policy and what relates to the Middle East, but the likelihood of this coming to fruition here, because we have been here before?
Well, Isa, forgive me for presenting a contrarian view. Joe Biden will be remembered as one of the worst American presidents in foreign policy. One of the worst. Naive, gullible, morally senile. If you ask me about the state of the world today it's one of the most dangerous moments in world history since the end of World War II in 1945. Joe Biden has played a major role in bringing China and Russia closer together than ever. We have never seen such loose talks about nuclear wars. We have now people talking, expert in the United States, about potential war between China and Russia. You have a war in the heart of Europe. Joe Biden has played a major role in militarizing the world. Gaza, you asked me about Gaza. Joe Biden's legacy, bitter legacy, will be Joe Biden. This is Biden's war. He has fed the war. He has financed the war. He has sheltered Israel's leaders. He never mentioned the fact that tens of thousands of Palestinians have been killed. More than 100,000 have been injured. 2 million displaced multiple times. Gaza is no longer. He talks about American values, my American values. I am an American. My values care about human life, about dignity, about civility, about the fact he talks about norms and rules. Yet Joe Biden has ruptured the rules-based international society by allowing massacres and slaughters of Palestinians, even if a ceasefire is reached tomorrow, and it might be reached. The damage that Joe Biden has done in the Middle East really will last for many, many decades, not just years.
And Ravi, I will take your point and pick up from where Fawaz said when it comes to Gaza, but I want to broaden it out also because he talked about Iran, he talked about Syria, he said the American alliances are strong and adversaries are weak, and he also said that, you know, the Biden administration he's leaving their administration is leaving Trump with a very strong hand to play. Just points me to the front page of a foreign policy cover, right? What are we likely to see, given what we've just heard from Fawaz in terms of his legacy?
His legacy won't be great. I have to confess, I will agree with Fawaz in large part here. History remembers winners, and Biden hasn't won. He said he's optimistic as he's ever been. Well, his own party is not. When Biden came to office, he told everyone that America's back. Well, he is the blip now between the Trump years, not the other way around. He mentioned the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan and said Al-Qaeda won't emanate from there. Well, the Taliban is in power and ISIS-K is regenerating there. ISIS just inspired a deadly attack in New Orleans. Fawaz very eloquently spoke about the Middle East and Gaza there. The humanitarian situation has been awful. And I think America has lost enormous amounts of soft power in public opinion globally, but also at institutions such as the United Nations. There have been real contradictions in this administration, you know, for example, calling Saudi Arabia's Mohammed bin Salman a pariah, but then visiting Riyadh to fist bumping, calling Russia's Putin a killer, but then not actually giving Ukraine enough to win the war. all of that, I think all of those chickens are coming home to roost. Iran's gotten closer to a nuclear bomb. So has North Korea. There were no trade deals. America's become more protectionist. Now, it's not that there aren't positives. There are, and I can list some of them out. Relations with China have stabilized. He mentioned semiconductors. The United States did well to restrict Beijing's access to high-end semiconductors. But there's a mismatch here between their lofty rhetoric and outcomes. And I think that is the reason why many analysts, including Fawaz and others, are as upset as they are.
I'm going to have to interrupt because we've run out of time. I could speak to you both for hours on this. Thank you very much for staying with us. Fawaz and Ravi, thank you very much. Do stay right here.